Choke no joke. You know what it is. All right, y'all. I'm going to continue on with this My Story from My Mouth. R. Kelly. For my whole R. Kelly appeal thing. Like, once again, these are R. Kelly's words. All right? And I can read better today. I got my glasses. For all you smart asses. All right, here we go, man. The strange things that were happening leading up to me getting arrested. These are some of the things that was happening to me leading up to my arrest. First of all, Zell and Joy parents had teamed up and started spreading massive rumors and lies about me, simply because they were trying to get money from me because I was seeing their daughters and I had been seeing them for almost 2 years. And once their parents realized there would be no financial gain coming in from me, seeing and being that their daughters decided that they wanted their daughters to come back home. Seeing and being with their daughters, they decided that they wanted their daughters to come back home. They started threatening their daughters and threatening me, which made their daughters not want to come home or even see their parents, and their parents started threatening us. Then they started putting their daughters' pictures out all over the internet and calling them Kelly sex slaves, in which they started getting a lot of negative attention, which made Joy and Zell furious to the point they stopped calling their parents. Because once their parents put the pictures out over the internet and called them sex slaves, it made Zell and Joy very uncomfortable about going out to the mall by themselves, to the nail salon, hair salons by themselves, or anywhere else, because they were paranoid that someone might notice them by their faces. Because of the pictures that their parents put out, they were in social media world, which was another reason they were dressing in jogging suits. They were dressing in jogging suits, and sometimes they would go out. The parents were really upset after I had turned down their business offers that they came to me with, or when I turned down giving a $20,000 loan to Zell's parents to get their restaurant business going, and also invest in some kind of dildo company where they wanted to mold my penis and turn it into a Bluetooth speaker. And they also wanted me to hire Zell's dad to be my light man and hire her mom to be my driver. And Joy's mom and dad wanted me to produce Joy's music and make her a singer, but Joy is not a singer. And I told her mom when I met her that I had no idea that Joy could sing, and that I gave her my number because she was only on my stage and she was cute. And most importantly, she's grown. And her mom was fine with that, but she kept on pushing the fact that Joy is a singer, and that's why she's with me, but Joy said that's different. Hold on now. All right. Now, their parents were really upset after I had turned down their business offers that they came to me with, or when I turned down giving a $20,000 loan to Zell parents to get their restaurant business going, and also invest in some kind of dildo company where they wanted to mold my penis and turn it into a Bluetooth speaker. And they also wanted me to hire Zell's dad to be my light man and hire her mom to be my driver. And Joy's mom and dad wanted me to produce Joy's music and make her a singer, but Joy is not a singer. And I told her mom when I met her that I had no idea that Joy could sing, and that I gave her my number because she was on my stage and she was cute, and most importantly, she was grown. And her mom was fine with that. But she kept on pushing the fact that Joy is a singer. And that's why she's with me. She kept pushing the fact that Joy's a singer, and that's why she's with me. But Joy said different. Joy told her mom that is not why she is with me, and that we were seeing each other, and her mom didn't like that, but never told Joy that she couldn't see me. But Joy's mom would continue talking about me buying clothes from her boutique to dress my dancers in. But I would tell her that we were already in the middle of my tour, and my dancers already had their wardrobe for the tour. Then months later, Joy's mom wanted to come to Chicago and meet me about something, and though I did not know what it was about, I welcomed her. So when Joy's mom came to the studio, she came in there with Joy's little sister and wanted to talk about me producing and writing songs for Joy's 15-year-old sister. And though I was not interested in writing or producing for Joy's 15-year-old sister, for one, because she was too young, and for two, I listened to her sing out of respect for Joy, but her little sister just don't have it. She just didn't have it. And when I was honest about it, Joy's mother didn't like it at all. She told me that people like Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, and other producers were interested in working with her. Working with Joy and her little sister. And my whole attitude was very positive, and I told her mom that I am not God, but you guys want me to give you my professional opinion based on my experience, and that's all I was trying to do. But I knew her mom didn't like it. And after that, she eventually started telling Joy to come home. But at this time, Joy was almost 21 and was not trying to go home at all. And because she was almost 21, I did not and could not make her go home. And the more she didn't go home, the more her mom would start talking and telling lies on social media, saying that I've brainwashed their daughter and held their daughter against her will, starved their daughter, denied their daughter from using the restroom, and put their daughter in a cult where I had other girls that I was doing the same thing to. And when Joy's mom and dad started spreading all those lies, and which made Joy really not want to come home, Joy's mom and dad teamed up with Zell's mom and dad, and the four of them went on a smearing campaign, just like they threatened that they were going to do. They started hooking up with different bloggers, radio stations, doing TV interviews and other media platforms. They could find. Doing TV interviews and other media platforms that they could find. And when they heard my ex-wife Drea had bad things to say about me and out there lying to the public about me, Zell's mom and dad, and Joy's mom and dad, saw that as a perfect opportunity to link up with them, to link up with my ex-wife and continue on with their whole smearing campaign. Then they started calling people or researching people that I have dealt with in my past that might not like me. Me, like, my old relationships didn't work out for whatever reason. Old managers that I had fired for stealing millions of dollars from me, or anyone who has some type of grudge against me, which is 30 years worth of that, simply because I had been in the business and successful that long. So all the people that had some type of grudge against me throughout the 30 years I've been successful, mixed with Zell's mom and dad, Joy's mom and dad, Lifetime, the Me Too movement, Time's Up movement, the Tasha K's, and all the other bloggers, along with radio, TV. All of their lies turned into a great big tsunami of lies. And I could not turn on the radio or television without hearing something about me. It was horrible. There was some type of things that was said GCI radio station in Chicago said on the radio, when we come back, we're going to tell you why R. Kelly has not been arrested. And I left the radio station on that station because I wanted to hear that where we were going to say, and after the commercial, they came back and said, the reason why R. Kelly has not been arrested is because he's been trafficking underage girls to some very high up people in law enforcement here in Illinois, and also to some people in the federal government. And when I heard that on GCI radio station, that I almost admired and came through for every time they asked me to do a show for, my heart was broken because I knew what they said was going to lead to me being arrested at some point. Here's some other things that happened. There would be multiple random wellness checks, whether I was in my house in Atlanta, my studio in Chicago, or at the Trump in Chicago. They will always be 4 to 5 policemen that would knock on my door and ask my lady friends to step out the house one by one, and after 15 minutes of questioning the ladies, the police would leave, which tells you that no one was being held against their will. And Zell, along with the other ladies, would tell the police about how their parents were lying and know exactly where she was, and that they were just spreading lies about me for financial gain. I always ask for my lawyers or someone to please get those police reports to prove that no one was brainwashed, coerced, or being held against their will. Because the police are trained to know those type of things are going on by when they was questioning people. They could tell the way they talk, the way they look, and their demeanor. But it's not to check out every policeman that has to come to my home in Atlanta, Chicago, or my studio to prove lies with those police. Another thing that happened to me leading up to my arrest is while I was meeting with my lawyers at the Trump in Chicago, a police started banging on my door. And when I answered it, one of the police yelled, they heard it was going to be a suicide and for me to open up the door. At that point, my lawyer at the time, Steve Greenberg, opened the door and told the police who he was and that he could not come into my apartment and that no one was committing suicide. And while he was telling the police that, I was looking out my window from the 48th floor and I saw 5 to 6 news trucks with cameramen pointing their cameras straight up to my window. And I could not believe it. And I know they have a recording of this. I know they have a recording of that because later on that night, they played the dispatch call all over the internet, but someone was trying to make it seem like I'm suicidal. One of the other things that happened before I was arrested was one of the hosts from GCI radio station brought a cameraman to my studio, and she was talking into the camera saying she didn't understand why the police are not doing their job and getting these girls out of the basement of this building, and she was pointing at my studio. And as she was saying that, she was going live. She was also saying R. Kelly, was holding a bunch of girls in that building against their will. Unbelievable. But these were the kind of things people were doing before I got arrested, which I know for a fact led to me getting arrested. Another thing that happened is I was in my studio working one night, and friends of mine started sending me video footage of the outside of my studio. And the weird part about it is they was going live feeds all over the world. And I didn't understand what was going on. But when they told me to go to a certain app on my phone, I would see it for myself. And when I did that, it was true. I could see the outside of my studio. So I asked my uncle to walk outside of the front of my studio while I watch my phone. And I'm looking at the front of my studio, and on my phone I see my uncle walk out the front of the door of my studio, which confirmed to me that my studio and the address was all over the internet live worldwide. And I became very concerned about not only my safety, but the people who work for me and also my guests, because everyone knew at that point exactly where I was. And by me being who I am which is a celebrity and all of these lies and rumors out there in the media about me, made me an easy target for those who may believe all of the lies and rumors. So me, my engineer, and my uncle, we ran outside of my studio to try to figure out where the cameras were placed. And when we got outside, after looking around for a little bit, we noticed that there was a Fox 32 news camera across the street from my studio attached to the top of an electricity pole. Wow. Another thing I just could not believe. I don't know if it's illegal or not, but not only was it invading my privacy, but it put me and everyone working for me lives in danger, because people started showing up and knocking on the door of my studio every other minute. And the cameraman was just sitting out in the front of my studio. In the cars, and the cameraman would just sit in front of my studio in the cars, jumping in and out and harassing anyone that would walk out of the studio or come in the studio. As Drea, my ex-wife, was continuing to spread lies and crazy rumors about me, and as Joy's mother and father, along with Zell's mother and father, and everybody that had grudges against me from my past, continued to do some which went along with Joy's mother and father, along with Zell's mother and father, and everybody that had grudges against me from my past. And everybody that had grudges against me from my past continued to do the same, which went on for at least 3.5 years. All those lies and rumors took a life of its own. However, they still just lies and rumors. It wasn't until Lifetime decided to take all those lies and rumors and turn it into their very own $100 million docuseries. And how did they do that? First, by recruiting Dream Hampton to recruit ex-girlfriend of mine who had a grudge against me. Ex-managers who used to steal from me and got fired. Ex-friends who used to try and hit on my girlfriends. Ex-lawyers who stole money. Ex-wife, people I used to work with in the studio, and they stole some of my songs. Dream Hampton went out and grabbed everybody that had something negative to say about me, and they even paid all these people. And the ones who didn't have anything negative to say, they tricked them by telling them that the docuseries was going to be positive after they got them to do the interview. They edited to make it look like they were talking bad about me. And when the docuseries was done and had come out, it made me look like the worst man on the planet, and which I thought was very unfair. How could they do that to me? And it all be legal? How? And nobody said anything about it. Not my friends, my lawyer, people who we helped, nor my family. And in fact, even my family was on the show getting paid to say bad things about me. And just 3 days after the docuseries aired all over the world, Kim Fox, who is the head prosecutor in Illinois, did a press conference on TV. She said she had seen the Surviving R. Kelly series, and it made her sick to her stomach. And by her being the head prosecutor of Illinois and me not being charged for anything at the time, she did that press conference. She had no right to hold a press conference and say something like that, because by her being the head prosecutor automatically made me guilty in the eyes of public opinion. But Kim, the head prosecutor of Illinois, even went on to say that she was also molested, and when she was a young girl. And it was not right for Ms. Fox to say those things where it had not been one investigation done on those alleged victims. In that Lifetime docuseries, no one was questioned. No arrest has been made. None of those alleged victims ever went to a Chicago police station and filed a police report against me whatsoever. There were no doctor reports from any of those alleged victims. No psych doctor reports, no background checks on any of the alleged victims. Lifetime and Dreamhampton just allowed whoever wanted to come on that docuseries and say whatever the hell they wanted to say about me. And let's not forget the fact that they got paid on top of it. Question: what if Dreamhampton told all these people that they weren't going to get paid? That she wasn't going to pay them? Any questions? What if Dreamhampton and Lifetime told all those people that they were going to get paid, but they have to say good things about me only? In other words, and I know this, but all the people on Lifetime, all of us so-called victims, ex-wives, ex-friends, managers, lawyers, and brothers were paid, and by them being paid to come on that show and say whatever they said automatically makes it a job, because all around the globe, no matter what nationality, when someone pays you to do something, whatever they pay you to do, that's a job. That's your job and those people's jobs. Where to come on to Lifetime and say negative things about R. Kelly, me. And they all did their job. They did their job. Just like Dreamhampton did her job. Just like whoever did the music for the docuseries did his or her job. Just like the director of Surviving R. Kelly did his or her job. Just like the cameraman did their job, and whoever else was involved, but everybody was on the credits when it started rolling, obviously did their job, and they all were paid. And that hurts me to my core, because Kim Fox is the most powerful black woman in Illinois, which makes her the most biggest influence woman in Illinois. She has the power to pursue the public opinion, whichever way she wants it to go. And by her watching the so-called docuseries where everyone on there and by watching a so-called docuseries where everyone on there gotten paid to come on that docuseries to say bad, mean, cruel, untrue things about me, and then she holds a press conference where she knows the world is watching her and says she sick to her stomach after watching the docuseries of Surviving R. Kelly that people were paid to do. Then saying at the very same press conference that she was also molested. And goes to say, anyone who ever been with R. Kelly, please call a number on the screen. And she's asking for the public's help. When I had not even been charged for anything, no one had been to a police station and filed a complaint and had not been arrested clearly shows that Kim Foxx, the head prosecutor of Illinois, massively abused her power on every level, resulting not only in me being indicted, but now convicted and staring down the barrel of spending the rest of my life in prison. And I don't know the exact date on what I'm about to say, but I do know for a fact that after Kim Foxx saw Surviving R. Kelly, that Lifetime put out, she did that press conference that same night. And about 3 days later, there were 3 fire marshals that showed up at my studio on 219th North Justin Street. It was random. They were knocking at my front door of my studio and also the back door. But I did not allow them to come in because they did not show papers of any kind that said they were allowed to enter my studio. So they left after that. 4 days later, they returned with the warrant, and they were 6 or 7 of them, along with 3 other people who didn't look like they had anything to do with the fire department. However, they had a warrant. So I allowed them to come in and look around, but I felt like they were there just to look to see if there were any girls somewhere in the building. And I went over this part with y'all on the first part, so y'all could go back to that. All right? Let me get back to the next part. Choke, no joke. This is what it is. All right? R. Kelly words. My story from my mouth, R. Kelly. It's the R. Kelly appeal. Let's go.
We here now. Damn, I wish I was pushing the act. Damn, I wish I was pushing the act. Damn, I wish I was pushing the act. I had no haps if I was pushing the act. Damn.